Welcome everyone to the last session of Tech Days Azure track. We have still this one to go, and then it's all over. Let's try to go through this as fast as possible. Then we can all get home. Windows Azure. That's a great platform for distributing media between or across like any device, any platform, any endpoint. And let's go through kind of like an overview what you can do on top of Windows Azure regarding media, specifically Windows Azure Media Services, but still some other basics behind that as well. And just a couple of words about myself. So I'm Karl Otz. I'm a technical consultant at Symbio. I work on Windows Azure, Windows Phone, and Windows 8, and sometimes with the last Surface, now called PixelSense, as well. Very neat stuff with that table. I'm a Windows Phone 8 and Windows 8 trainer for Microsoft, and I'm a Windows Azure insider. And I just co-founded an organization called Young Developers Finland. And Young Developers Finland is an organization that aims to bring get the next generation to actually build some applications and of course save the planet by that. And I'm also a Microsoft student partner. And again, a little bit about the agenda. So we are focusing now to build media applications with Windows Azure. Specifically, we'll talk about storage, content distribution, and media services. And we'll try to do some demos. I didn't have time to test them here today because we had the network connection issues, so let's see how lucky we are. Why today? Obviously because it's all constantly changing and the demo guides can be a bit tricky. Alright, so let's get started with Windows Azure Storage. Basically, Windows Azure Storage is highly scalable, highly durable, with high availability storage system in the cloud. Currently there are like 300 petabytes of data or storage available there, and obviously growing all the time. So really kind of like internet scale size there. Obviously anywhere, anytime access, because it's on the cloud as a service, and you only pay for the storage size you actually consume yourself. So you don't have to pay for a big hard drive if you just want to use a smaller hard drive size of data. And exposed over REST. So basically any platform can access it, and there's lots of ready-made SDKs as well for the most common languages as well. And here are just I think pretty much all of them, but I think usually I tend to miss them because they always keep adding new ones here, and I'm usually interested only on the C# and .NET part, so I don't keep count, but at least these are supported for Azure Storage. And about the different storage parts, so we have Windows Azure Tables, which are non-relational structured storage, massively scalable. What non-relational means that it's not as we have down there on the Windows Azure SQL database, but instead we have this kind of mentality that we can save whole entities or objects to the storage instead of having like a fixed schema for the certain partitions. Then we have Windows Azure Blobs, which are for storing binary files, big files, specifically, for example, virtual machines that you use on Windows Azure. They are actually stored in Windows as Windows Azure Blobs, as Beat mentioned in the keynote today. So really scalable there. Then we have Windows Azure Queues, which are an asynchronous way of creating persistent messaging. Very nice for several different approaches. A bit similar to Service Bus, but still certain very specific differences there. And then we have Azure SQL database, which is basically, as the name suggests, is an SQL database as a service for you, so you don't have to worry about managing it. Very basic stuff here. We'll focus on blobs as we are talking about, of course, media in this talk. But many of the concepts, like for example, sharing stuff and permissions, they are actually very similar. Or that they are the same in other storage parts as well. But basically, you can use blobs for sharing stuff in enterprise documents, in like just examples like share this IMGU, RM9, and those kind of specific ways of sharing media, and obviously blobs are good part for that. There was a presentation about Service Bus in the morning here, and there were actually a nice case example where they actually stored HTML websites in blobs, so you can do that as well. Excuse me. And this is how blob storage looks like. So it's by default it's exposed at youraccount.blob.core.windows.net. Obviously, you can add your own. You can add your own domain or CDN or CDN and your own domain. There, then it's going to change. But this is the basic concept. So you have your account. You can have different containers or folders there. There you can have the different blobs, and it also splits up into different types of blobs, so page blobs and block blobs as well. Just skimming these. Okay, so how do we actually share these? What are the privacy options available? We can, by default, they are all public and exposed over HTTP, so it's just a public URL. We can make them also private, so that we actually have to have our own storage account keys to access them, so it's only secured only for our own applications use. And then we can also sign URLs so that we can actually create time-based policies for sharing different types of data. These are called in Windows Azure. These are called shared access signatures, which is, as I said, basically a signed URL on top of the regular file name. And these are very interesting when we consider a scenario where we don't actually want to. We don't know about the client if it's secure to access directly, or we just don't want to have the client access directly our storage. For example, if you want to sell something out of our service, we don't want the client to have direct access to our sales database from their phone, for example. We want them to go through the store, obviously. And this is an example of that kind of case where the client then make a request that, okay, I want to buy this kind of image or video. That is the URL. Then you can make all your transaction processes, and then the service can send the client the shared access signature back, and then the client can then access, or the client can then request from the storage that specific content, and after it's accessed, or after a certain amount of time, for example, the client cannot anymore access when the SAS is expired. And let's do a quick demo about these. Yeah, changing slides is a bit difficult this time, but still. Here it is. So I'm now in the Windows Azure Management Portal, so manage.windowsazure.com, and hopefully we actually see some content. Okay. I have a storage account created here. This is actually better. And here are the public URLs for my blobs, my tables, my queues, and I can just check these, and after the basic URL is this address / storage container name / the actual blob. Very easy. And then there's obviously some monitoring data available for there, and other things as well. Actually, I'm not seeing anything here in here. And then I can manage my keys. It's okay for me to show you them wholly, because I can always just regenerate these. But let's actually access this storage now. So this is Azure Storage Explorer beta version. You can just go and download it from Codeplex. This is basically just a graphical user interface for what you can do with what you can do with Windows Azure storage. You can upload stuff here. You can change security settings and so on and so on. So it's just a nice tool for us developers. It's not something that if you have a image bank or video site that you give this to client and say you upload your stuff from here. No, but it really speeds up your development when you can test with this graphical user interface yourself. And I have here a container called TechDays Finland, and I have two items here. Actually, not just the security right yet, but let's see, for example, the view. We see the URL. We can apparently wrong browser because nothing's opening. Okay, let's just do alt copy paste. This is the URL. I've drawn this myself, believe it or not. There's some other data here as well, and there's a text representation of that one. Not always that useful, but then we can have the we also have the sharing security settings, and we can create shared access signatures here which expire after an hour, for example, here by default. So if we just let me see, let's add this one as private, and add this one as private as well. Let's see if we can still access this one. We should not be able to access this. Yeah, okay, it was in my cache. So now when I refresh this one, because I set it as a private, I cannot access this one anymore. And actually, well, yeah, some other browsers give me a little bit more specific data, an XML answer that says that it actually cannot just. It's actually about permissions, not that it just cannot be found. But we know that it's there, so it doesn't bother us. When we create the shared access signature, which is just the same URL, but the signed URL after that. So when we use this one, then we can actually see the picture, and this link is now working for, as we specified here, this is only for reading, and it works Dublin time, maybe, I don't know, UTC time, yeah. But yeah, it works for 1 hour from now. We can also specify these as policies, so that we can create one here and then just say that okay, this for this image or this video, just use this type of policy. And obviously this all can be made with code as well, with just a couple of lines. But this is just a very easy way to see what's possible here. And I'll just make this one as public again, so that everyone can enjoy my awesome image there. All right. So that was very quickly. Here are all my slides. Yeah. So that was very quickly the Windows Azure Storage, the portal, not just the storage side, and then the Storage Explorer. Let's now go through an example that uses just this, nothing more, basically only the shared access signature and the requesting from service diagram that I showed you. This is a video store application for Moomis. It's for Windows Phone and Windows 8. Works a little bit differently. I talked about differences in the Windows Phone. Excuse me. I talked about the differences in the last session about Windows Phone, Windows 8 part, so I'm not going to go through that. But basically we have here the same architecture where we store the content as in Azure Blob Storage, and then we can access that through a web service that acts as a proxy, so that we can check that if it's bought or not. And then the media purchase flow is presented here. So the important part is that we actually store the in-app purchase receipt in the server. So we are not just relying on Windows Store or Windows Phone Store to say us that if it's bought or not, because as we've seen in some blog posts, it can be cheated, at least currently. Yeah. Then again, we request the video content. If it's bought, if we had the receipt, then our web service creates this same kind of signed URL that is only valid for 1 hour or that for some specific time, and then shares that to the client, and then client can access that content by the signed URL. pretty straightforward here. Then we can download the video via background transfer agents or background transfer in Windows 8. Add our encryption, decryption, license checking. That's specific to our case. And then play that in Windows 8 side. We can play that in our own customized media element controller. For example, in Windows Phone side, we can have the media player task available there. And between the Windows 8, we can have add quite nice things like multi-audio, subtitles. We can roam settings that when we start watching a video here at a conference with another machine, then we can just when we are on the train, we can continue from that same place on the video, and we can share media to a DLNA enabled TV via Play 2. Then let's check out Windows Azure CDN. Just as any CDN as a content distribution network, just basically showing that we can replicate the content to a repository near the user. And this time these are not drawn by me, but I'm just using the awesome Windows or the PowerPoint's new storyboarding capabilities there. Bear with me with this one. These are Windows Azure's node locations. Maybe let's check. This is better. So this may be a little bit better representation. So together with the CDN nodes, there are 24 different locations around the world. They are a little bit more than we have the regular Azure data centers. So literally, we are closer to the users with this one, and nothing special. Really nice CDN, and let's see how we can check that one up if we want to share our awesome handcrafted video, big image of a Windows Phone over a CDN. For that, we actually have to go back to a previous portal. We used to have a portal built with Silverlight to manage Windows Azure. Now we have the new HTML5 based portal, and just some of the stuff just hasn't been moved back to the new management portal. And let's see if we can. And here under CDN side, you see why they had to change the portal. It's maybe not that neat as the new one. And here I made this before because it can take like tens of minutes to actually provision the whole CDN across all of the networks. But basically, I can just when I select the new storage, I can just select create a new endpoint. For that one, select my Azure subscription, for what storage account it is, and just go on with that one. And here we can also add our own domain for the CDN as well, as we can add to the storage ourselves. And here we can see some connection strings, where's the default HTTP endpoint, and can we have HTTPS, and so on and so on. Nothing special, but very easy and very fast to do. Your part, of course, the provisioning then takes some time. Let's see. let's get to the interesting part. So the Windows Azure Media Services, which is a service that enables you to easily stream currently video on demand and soon also live video from Windows Azure without having to set up really like your own streaming server. And this is basically the main functionality of Windows Azure Media Services, what all can we do there. We can select just one of these parts of upload, encode, content protection, and all that. We can do all of these parts with a third-party provider, or we can use Azure for those parts. We don't have to use all of that. We can combine that. We can use like half of the media services are from third-party providers, and half of them can be from Windows Azure Media Services. I'll go through those specifically in just a sec. These are the main scenarios for Windows Azure Media Services. Why should you? When could you use those? Basically, end to end. You really want from uploading media to distributing it to the mobile or website. Then you can build hybrid ones. So if you really have it you have all of the things done in-house, but you would want to maybe get rid of your encoding servers and then just buy those. Pay for those as a service. You can do that, and then you can create, manage, and deliver different media across different devices like iOS and Android and Windows devices with the media players. Stay in one place maybe. Okay, so first part of Windows Azure Media Services is the ingestion engine, which basically allows you to upload media into the cloud, and it brings assets like video and audio to your whole system, and you can do encryption from in this part as well, so it can be secure, it can be fast. You can use UDP transfer with a service like Aspera, which is now available from Windows Azure Store since this Monday or last Friday, now that the store is open in Finland. So you can just buy that one as a service from the Azure Store. You can also, if you want to do those encryption solutions, then you can manage encryption keys also with different services. And Windows Azure Media Encoder is almost Microsoft Expression Encoder in the cloud. Not quite, but just to give you the concept of what would it be. And it enables you to convert. It enables you to do format conversion from MP4s to like smooth streaming. And to convert smooth streaming to HLS, so Apple HTTP live streaming. And you can also use other SDKs to enable custom encoders as well. And obviously there are a huge list of the encoding options, but let's just try to keep it quite simple for that one. Then the Windows Azure Media Encryptor That's basically meant for digital rights management, to protect your content, and before you can encrypt anything, you have to convert it to either smooth streaming or HLS from your in your own service or in the previous part, or the last part we just saw. And again, there's support for different DRM partners, and to manage keys, you can buy again now from Windows Store as a service the DRM Microsoft Play Ready yourself. And I think there are some other providers in the store as well. We can check that in a minute. Yep. Then the origin. So that's basically the on-demand streaming part. Because we have already converted our content as HLS or smooth streaming, when we actually transmit that content over HTTP, it's in small fragments, so we can actually put, for example, Azure CDN there or some other CDN there. It can recover automatically. It's really quite neat. And Microsoft actually guarantees you quite a good bandwidth as well on that one. But let's now take a look at how to actually use that. Here. So let's get back to the new portal. Come on, can't be serious. Okay, very good single sign-on experience here. And now that we have this our storage, we have some data, some videos here in this storage. Then we can just add under which one was it again? App service. Yeah, under app services. This is one of the things that got changed a little bit, but so yeah, here in the media service side, we can create a new service. It has to be on the same region as our storage is. So not in East Asia. Yeah, it was in. When I select the Northern Europe, it shows me that this TechDays storage account is in the same region. Would you want to pick that one, or do you want to create a new account? And then the regular, what subscription do you use? Do you use part? And I've actually created that one as well. This is one of those things that got updated the 1st of March, so just now. So now that I've created a new media service, there's actually some quite usable samples here. So after you installed the media services SDK from NuGet, you can really just copy paste this code to Visual Studio, because they actually even put your key and ID here, so this literally is copy pasting. We are not trying our luck with this one right now, but rather use the same one of the same features that they are using here. There's uploading code and delivering provided as code samples, but they are also provided. All three of them are provided here in this portal. So basically, there's lots of content, lots of stuff you can do with the SDK that's not actually yet implemented in the portal side. So, for example, that's a good example I had there. DRM stuff is something that's not maybe that easy to do on the portal side. But let's just take a look at how the uploading works. We can upload from local file or from the storage account we had there. It's gonna take some time, obviously, so let's just check the ones I've uploaded there. So this is a regular MP4 file I've uploaded. Let's check the media encoder part. There's a couple of presets available depending on where you want to play back this thing. And let's maybe select Flash and Silverlight because they sound so new to me. And what it does, it actually creates an encoding job. And there's quite good view of that now in the portal of how do we actually see some data. That's one of the samples that you can do programmatically now as well. So this is the job that's just now starting, that I just created. It will take some time, but let's maybe have a look at one of the older ones that say that okay, there's an encoding and there's the live streaming support and other different parts for the jobs available as well. And it depends on how have you scaled your Azure Media Service and how much time does it take to actually encode it. Right now we see it's going to take quite a lot of time. It's still at 0%, even though it's like 6 megabytes file. Shouldn't take that long. And well, currently there is no slider apparently for how powerful the encoder unit is. But if I wanted to do a bigger amount of jobs at a time, like all the 3 jobs I had there, if I had started them now, I would want to run them parallelly, then I could just scale down to 3 jobs or 3 units, save it, and have it done with a little bit quickly. And then the on-demand streaming, this is basically the part where they guarantee you some bandwidth based on how much do you actually estimate your usage to be. And of course, yeah, we always have to keep in mind that these all the mobile services and media services and even websites, these are all still in beta phase or preview phase in Windows Azure. So we're actually, again, they like 1 month ago, end of January, actually, the media service came out of preview. So there are pricing available for that, and some SLAs as well. Sorry about that. So scaling, let's not do that. Let's go back and check out the job, and if it's moved, okay, it's only in 10%. So let's just maybe look at one of the ready-made ones. So this This is an already encoded video file. Before I can actually access it, I have to obviously publish. Yeah, I'm sure I want to publish this one. And then I can play it using the portal's own, this time HTML5 based apparently browser. Let's see if one of the other ones work. I think this should work. So yeah, here the portal implementation is actually using Flash and the Flash and Silverlight player one. So I can just have a look at the video. I can skip. It's not that long. It's only like 1 or 2 minutes. But as you saw very quickly, it can skip to the different parts. It didn't have to load all of it. You see the little buffering icon that was there for a while. Just moving application in use video. Really awesome stuff. You can obviously make it full screen. The quality obviously isn't that good because the first video was the 6 megabytes, just 6 megabytes big, but still this is just a fully functional player in the portal, and you can build it to your own, as well as you can. Let's see, maybe no, not going to fit to a screen at the same time. But as we publish this, we can consume these. We can consume them these videos we've created to different devices. Let's see this HTML5 video. I copied it there, and let's try to consume that one in a Windows phone. Maybe that was only about our browser. So I'm just opening this same bit.li URL in browser. You can try to do the same, but then we'll probably crash again the Wi-Fi here. Let's see who is the fastest typer. No. Okay. Not gonna get this one working then. But you know, try to type this one into your browsers, and in Windows Phone, for example, it opens up the default media player. Doesn't it really? Nope. It opens up the default media player and starts loading up the video, and in my case it's now just a little bit slow, of course, but it still started already to show the video just by typing up the URL there. So you can create different endpoints there in the portal. And one of the other things that was introduced now in the March release, now 1st of March, is that we can actually. Okay, I had to uncheck some of these. So now I can actually see some statistics about the streaming errors, how much data has has been sent out, streamed out, and how much requests have we had. Let's see if it actually... Interestingly, at least so far, the streaming requests doesn't seem to notice me just requesting it on the phone. Maybe it's gonna take some time, but these are some new statistics for monitoring, which are at least seem to be very nice additions. All right, and lots of monitoring, and just a quick look about around the store as well. So, for example, Aspera is a service where you can upload stuff very fast using UDP, and there are different plans depending on how much do you think you are going to use this one. The whole Windows Azure store is just now available in Finland, which is really nice. We are beginning to see really interesting, for example, in the data section, we have like the weather data historically available there. We have, okay, the address book one isn't that good for us because it only checks US and Canadian addresses, but that's a good opportunity to build your own one and sell it here as a service. So there's lots of data services available there, and for example, this there's a service where you can actually this one. So a service that manipulates images, resizes, does all that for you, optimizes crops. SendGrid helps you to batch send emails from Azure, and Scheduler is a basic cron scheduler for Azure. It's actually free for up to 5,000 or 5,000 scheduled jobs per month, which seems quite nice. And hopefully there are a lot of more to come as well. But that's about it, the store. And actually also that's all I wanted to talk to you about as well. So let's now open up the floor for discussion, and I've got also some Pluralsight gift cards to give out for great questions. So shoot ahead. All right. If that was it, then I thank you very much. Thanks all for coming to Tech Days. Thanks for coming to this discussion, and I hope to see you next year. Thank you.